Hi everyone, so today with Valentine's Day just around the corner, I thought I will be showing you how to make these cute little heart earrings. Those are made with a brick stitch, so I will show you in detail how to do that. You will need some Miyuki Delica beads in size 11. This color specifically is galvanized champagne. You will also need some fishing line, either 6 pound or 4, whichever you prefer. You will also be needing some studs or some earring post. So those have a 6mm base. You could also use a 4mm base if you want. And that's about it. But today, for the purpose of the video and so that you can see better, I will be using some really big beads. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so we will start by threading 2 beads. And you want to leave a tail maybe 15 centimeters. And then we will be going through both beads again, pull through. And then back a second time, up the first bead and down the second. I forgot to mention, but so I've already made one so that you can see, but we will be working our way up. So I'm starting by the bottom row here, or technically the left row, and then we'll work our way towards the right. But if you find it easier, you can start by the middle, work your way one way, and then back the other way. So anyways, back to our beads. So after bead 2, going to take another bead, and as you can tell, for a brick stitch we are going to follow the same where the thread currently goes. So I'll go from top to bottom and then back up top in the bead I've just added. And that's row number 1 down. For row number 2, going to leave that here so we can follow along. Okay, so we are now going to start row number 2 and we are going to create an increase. So to do so, you will put your needle through the loop in between the last 2 beads, pull through, and then you want to go up this bead, pull, down the first one from this row, and back up the second. And then we'll do a regular brick stitch, sorry, for the next bead. So you'll just go under the loop, pull, and up through the bead. And then we need another increase here. So you're going to take another bead and you're going to go through again the same loop as we just came out of. So under the last bead we put and back up. And pull. And then we're going to start on row number 3. So once again we have an increase. So instead of going through the second loop, we are going to thread 2 beads and go through the first loop. Pull. Go through the second bead. Down the first. And up the second one again. And here we are. So then again we'll just do a regular brick stitch, take 1 bead, go through the next loop, up, take another bead under the loop, and up, and then this row also ends with an increase. So you're going to take 1 bead, go under the loop that's under the last bead, pull through, and up through your bead, and you have row number 3 done. Now once again we are going to increase, so take 2 beads under the last loop, up the second bead, then the first, and up through the second one again. And then we are going to do a normal brick stitch, so under and back up. So you might see on my little model here, but this one doesn't have an increase at the top, so what we'll do is that we'll just finish by 1 bead in the last loop and up. And row number 4 is done. So now to start row number 5, which will be our middle row, gonna take 2 beads, and instead of going through the first loop as we did before to increase, we are just going to go through the second loop, and then up the second bead, down the first, and up the second again. Continuing with regular brick stitches here. And 2. And then we are going to increase at the bottom so that we can do the end of the heart. So 1 more bead through the last loop and up. And we are now more than halfway done, so now we are going to move to row number 6, which is a decrease, so take 2 beads, skip 1, go in under the second loop, go back up your second bead, and down the first, and back up the first bead. Pull through. And then we are going to continue, and this time at the end we are going to do an increase. So 1, 2, and an increase, so like we did before, under the last hidden loop and up through the bead. And then once again we increase, so we'll take 2 beads, go under the first loop, make sure they are not twisted like mine, up the second bead, down the first, oops, and up the second one again, and pull. With the fishing line you wouldn't have that issue of having to pull, but it's just really like a loose thread that I'm using right now. Anyways, so let's keep going. Under the loop, up the bead, under, and up, and last one. So right now on the bottom side we will only be decreasing from now on, so no need to increase at the end. And I'm going to do 2 beads, skip the first, go through the second, and up. So that will be our second to last row, so we will be decreasing at the top as well. So 1 and 2, and then for our final row, take 2 beads, skip the first loop, go through the second, or under the second even, up the second bead, down the first, and up the second one, and then last one, go through the loop, and up, And then all we have to do is weave in our ends. So to do so, just go through a few beads. And then cut. When using fishing line, I also generally like do a little, I just burn the end just to make sure it is secured. And we are going to do the same thing on the other side. Back down. And that's it. The little heart is done, and I'm going to clear that up and show you how I put the backing in place in a second. Okay, so now that we have made the main part of the earring, aka the heart, we need to attach the backing for it. So here I'm using a 6mm flat head stud. So in order to attach it, I'll personally be using some UV resin. Personally, don't really like that one. This one is much better, but I ran out of the good one, so I'll be using this one. So I'm just going to put a little dollop on my mat. I'm gonna take some tweezers just to be a bit more precise. Okay. Take my tweezers and I'm going to dip the stud in and put it in the back. And I'm gonna take my UV lamp and put it on for 99 seconds even. So here it is, your own little heart earring, and if you don't feel like making one, I am also selling those on Etsy, so they will be linked down below. And I sell them in like multiple colors as well. So yeah, that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for staying until the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!